Good morning and welcome to Tech Tuesday with Loy Instrument. Today we're going to be going over the Smart Transmitter line from Honeywell. And today's special guest is Jay Janning. He's our sales specialist out of Cleveland, Ohio. And he'll be giving today's presentation. This will be recorded and put onto Loy Instrument's YouTube page. So feel free to visit our YouTube page and go through the recording at your leisure. And after today's session, we'll have question and answers. If we have any questions from the crowd, we'll go ahead and answer them at that time. And I will go ahead and hand this over to Jay, and we'll get started.
All right, thank you, Jeff. And should be sharing my screen. Can you guys see the presentation there?
Yep, sure can.
All right, well, welcome to our Tech Tuesday presentation. Today we'll be discussing the Honeywell SmartLine family of instruments. We'll cover some of the similar features of the SmartLine transmitters and then talk about some of the specifics and different types of transmitters available. So as you can see from this slide, this kind of breaks down three of the main types of transmitters: pressure, level, and temperature. Not pictured, which we'll discuss a little bit later too, is flow meters. And within each of the groups, there's multiple options depending on your application. We've got gauge and absolute and differential pressure, flange for level tanks, the SmartLine multivariable transmitter, remote seal, and wireless options. Within the level family, we've got guided wave radar, non-contact radar, and even the NRAF for tank gauging. And then within the temperature family, we've got your traditional field-mounted SmartLine temperature transmitters, as well as options for DIN rail mounted. So let's talk a little bit about the modular design of the SmartLine transmitters. What you're looking at here is an exploded view of a typical transmitter. The gray portion in the center is kind of the main body of the transmitter. On the right side, the little half circle is the terminal block end for wiring. On the left side, you've got your communication module, that little black disc. And then there's an option for a digital display and then also the viewing cover. The top of the top of it has a field configurable buttons, which allow for a zero span and customer configurations in the field. Now, one of the best benefits to this modular design is the overall cost savings. Traditionally, you needed to stock one transmitter for each application. Now you can see with the modular design, you can stock one or two models which will cover a wide range of applications. And we'll kind of display some of that a little bit later. Plus having spares in spare components in inventory if something should fail. So we'll talk about some of these components here. Honeywell's made some improvements on the LCD screen so that you can show what values mean the most to you. It will also display some diagnostic alerts and messages. You can see from the slide here that you can show your process variable. You can show if the output loop is good. You can even show what percentage or what the millivolt or milliamp value is reading. The three buttons on top, I think this is a great that Honeywell came up with. These three little buttons just pop in and out. Keeps the intrinsically safe requirements out in the field. You can work on the transmitters and reset values, do a zero and span without having to interfere with any of the wiring. It's a little separate compartment, and those buttons work on magnets. You also don't need one set of buttons for each transmitter. In some situations like the refineries that we do a lot of work in, they don't necessarily need to have one set of buttons. You just need one set of buttons for each maintenance guy that's running around. You can pop those in and pop them back out. Also helps cut down on the expense of having to buy handheld communicators and then worry about keeping those charged and who's got it. One of the best features on the SmartLine transmitters is the wiring puck. It's polarity and sensitive, which basically means you can't wire it incorrectly. This comes in handy if the transmitter's in a hard to reach area and you're kind of just wiring it up blind, or you get someone in the field who worries about where the positive and the negative goes. A little bit on the dual compartment housing. Why is this important? So you can add, remove, and change the 3-button configuration, the communication puck, and the LCD screen without powering down the unit. This can be really important if you have bad communications, but you don't want to take the transmitter offline. You can just unscrew that front viewing cover, pop off the LCD screen display, change out the communication puck, put a brand new one in, and then put it all back together without interfering with the power. So let's look a little bit specifically at the pressure transmitters. As I mentioned, we've got differential pressure, or the multivariable. You can use the traditional dual block body with vent drains, or you can get it flanged, or even the option for single or double remote seals. Communications from the transmitters, and this carries across all the line of the SmartLine platform, includes the Honeywell DE protocol, HART, or even field bus. There's also options for fully compliance with SIL 2 and SIL 3 requirements. So the two main model series here, we'll first highlight the ST700 series. Next, we'll cover the 800 series. So right now, Honeywell leads the industry in stability, which means very little drift, no need to calibrate the transmitter over time, and you can trust the accuracy of the transmitter over long periods. The chart here kind of shows an example of some of the differential pressure ranges available. What's important to notice here is the turn down ratio, 100 to 1. This means that one transmitter can cover a wide range of applications, which leads back to that same point of the modular design, that you can stock just one model on the shelf instead of having multiple transmitters and then worrying about having the right replacement in a critical application. The ST800, you can see we've got better stability, better accuracy, and an even higher turn down ratio. Same point as with the 700 series. There's a wide span of upper and lower sensing ranges. And again, these are, available differential pressure, absolute gauge. So the SmartLine multivariable transmitter, it measures your static pressure, your differential pressure, and your process temperature. Then it'll make some calculations, and then it will transmit out those measured values as well as a calculated mass flow or total flow. You can see there's multiple applications where this can be used, including liquids, gases, and even steam, with a range of flow elements available. And we'll take a look here at the Honeywell wireless solutions. These were first introduced back in 2004, and we can see over the past 16 years the evolution of these wireless transmitters. As you notice, these look just like the normal pressure transmitters now, with the addition of the antenna to broadcast the signal. Some of the improvements made over the years include a longer battery life and a better range. You can see that see how often the signal pushes from the transmitter can be adjusted, and you can even push firmware upgrades from your PLC or online out to the transmitter. The way these work is you set up a few receivers around your facility, and this creates a mesh network around your plant. And then adding in extra transmitters is just as simple as putting in the transmitter, and it automatically finds the quickest path using that mesh network. So once you get over that initial installation cost of the receivers, popping in transmitters is a piece of cake. All right, we'll talk about level transmitters here. The right transmitter will depend greatly upon the application, whether it's guided wave radar, non-contact, or even the traditional differential pressure transmitters. You have the same accuracy and response time as the rest of the SmartLine family. There's even level transmitters for tank levels where custody transfer level is required for accuracy in measuring how much liquid is being transferred in between customers. Here's a look too at some of the different mounting options that are available for the non-contact radar transmitters. And again, the right fit and the right mounting will depend greatly on your application. Same with the pressure transmitters. You get that high level of accuracy with Honeywell. Various ranges, you can do flanged or threaded connections are available, and different materials of construction, depending on if you have corrosive environments. And because it has that same design head as the other transmitters, you have the option for the 3-button field calibration, the LCD display screen, and even the SIL 2 and SIL 3 compliance. Temperature transmitters. With these, you have the same options as the field mounted in the STT 800 and 700 series. Again, similar to the pressure transmitters, you're going to get a high level of accuracy and low drift with the 700 series, but you'll see even a higher range of accuracy there with the 800 series. And then there's also the option for the DIN rail mounted that can be put inside of a cabinet or a panel. They're supported by both DE and HART protocol, and certification options are available. Newly released with Honeywell is the updated remote indicators. These are an updated version of the old RMA 300 series. It's now the RMA 800 series. These are great if you have transmitters in a hard to view location up high and near a ceiling, and you need to retransmit the process variable to a place where it can be seen without climbing on top of equipment or squeezing into a hard place to reach. So this is kind of interesting and a valuable feature in the SmartLine temperature transmitters is they support a dual input. So in this example, you can have a ready-to-go backup in a critical application if one of your sensing elements or thermocouples fail. In this example of a heat exchanger, you can measure the temperature at 2 different points. This can also help provide an early warning that fouling is occurring inside the heat exchanger if you get too much of a temperature difference between the 2 points that you're measuring. This example shows how dual inputs can be used in a large range of temperatures. Maybe you have a furnace that runs one particular part at a lower range temperature, and you have one type of thermocouple in there. Maybe it's like a type S or R, And then you have another set of parts that you use in the same furnace that run at a much higher temperature, and you have a different thermocouple in there. So what do you get out of this? You get better control, you get improved quality, improved yield at a lower cost. And in any of those examples I just covered, you can set up a sensor drift alert that lets you know when the temperature difference has reached a critical point in your application. This can also be an early warning sign that one of your thermocouples or sensing elements is beginning to fail, or maybe there's something going on in your process that needs some attention. So now the last product in the SmartLine family is the VersaFlow flow meters. Which one is right for your application would just be depending on what you want to measure, whether it's a slurry or a thick paste, oils or chemicals, or liquids, gases, or even steam. And oh, let's see, did this one, oh, there we go. Okay, got to click a couple times here to get it in. Sorry about that. So finally, the last thing I want to cover here is the Honeywell AVT, or the application and validation tool. This is a great free online resource provided by Honeywell. What this does basically is it allows you to go in online and pick which type of transmitter you're looking for, whether it's level, pressure, flow, temperature, or multivariable. And then it kind of steps you through the process of picking, what exactly is going to be right for your application. A lot of smarts and a lot of programming is put into this. Gives you all the options instead of dealing with the model selection guide. What this basically is going to help you do is it's going to cut down on specification time. It'll help reduce errors because it won't let you pick a transmitter that can't be selected. And then when it's all done, it gives you that full model number that you're able to link with anyone else in your organization. You can send that off to your favorite distributor. And that allows us to kind of help you fine-tune your application. This can easily be accessed at www.config.honeywellsmartline.com. And with that, I'll turn it back over to you, Jeff.
All right, Jay, thanks for the overview. Did a great job. Just kind of a real quick summary on the SmartLine. Honeywell has been in smart transmitter technology for ages now, and throughout the years they've really refined this product line. One of the things I think they did really good, or actually multiple things they did really good with this last transmitter line was, like Jay said, the modularity of the transmitter head design, where it doesn't matter if it's a temperature transmitter, flow, pressure, level, they all carry the same modular head design, where it has common parts with the display, the DE heart module, the wiring puck, and this should eliminate a lot of headaches for customers out in the plant where they might have to carry spare parts. Also helps with the distribution channel at Honeywell, so we can carry all those spare parts on our shelf. So if a customer needs to add something out in the field or add a part off the shelf to get it to the customer, we can do that. And Modular Design be able to put together a specific model for the customer and ship it off our shelf and do some really quick deliveries. I think the other real important thing that Jay mentioned is the high turndown ratio. So back in the days when Honeywell had the Series 100 and Series 900 series, there's a lot of different models for different pressure ranges. And the fact that the new model has such a high turndown ratio, it minimized the stocking that customers have to do on their shelf for spare parts, because now there's a wider range of pressure ranges that the transmitter can handle. So those are real important. I think, Honeywell is moving to make it easier for customers to select the correct transmitter for the process application needs, as well as having that AVT online tool, which is free to customers to be able to go in and specify the part that they want and not worry about selecting the incorrect model number for their application. So, Honeywell's done a really good job at these smart transmitters, and they meet a lot of application needs for our customers every day across many different industries. So refineries to heat treat to steel to manufacturing, wastewater. These transmitters serve a lot of different application needs. So with that, we'll go ahead and end today's session. This will be available for YouTube viewing. We will also, as a reminder, have the Honeywell demo trailer that will be coming to the Indianapolis Loy Instrument headquarters on October 23rd. That's Friday, October 23rd. The trailer will be here from 9 o'clock until about 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Lunch will be provided by Loy Instrument, so feel free to stop by and look at all these transmitters in a live demonstration, along with Honeywell technical support specialist on site to be able to answer any of your questions. So feel free to stop by. We'd love to see you. And with today's session, we'll go ahead and conclude, and hope to see you next Tuesday. Thanks for your time.